This is where the fun begins.
The Lord Be With You podcast show, also known as Christian Fandom Geek on YouTube, is a Red 5 show, also affiliated with Fandom Collective. So, enjoy the show, and the Force will be with you very soon on the Lord Be With You podcast show. Welcome back to the Lord Be With You podcast show. This is our part 2 episode of our Nietzsche and the Sith Philosophy episode. So I hope you enjoyed the part 1, and if you've listened to part 1, thank you for listening, on whether it's on Podcast Player, on YouTube, or as Christian Fandom Geek, or whatever podcast player you listen to. Thank you, really appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you're keeping safe and well, especially in the times that we are living in. Okay, so let's get back to this story article that was really interesting on As Your Poets Have Said, and I am going to be looking at this website a lot more because I was really impressed with reading this this sort of story with the Sith and with Nietzsche, a bit of philosophy and a bit of Star Wars fandom and canon. Really good stuff, great combination. So obviously we've already spoke about the master and slave morality, and how Nietzsche viewed the Roman sort of culture as very much a master morality, and Christianity, the Judeo-Christian religion and ethics, as very much slave morality, because it focused on compassion and empathy and kindness, whereas the sort of Roman way of doing things pre-Christianity was very much a sort of apex hierarchy of the strongest dominating those who are not as powerful, and so it's interesting, obviously, linking that to George Lucas's Star Wars saga, and how the villains of that saga, the Sith, have this sort of apex mentality of the strong dominate those who are less strong. The strong, and obviously in Star Wars, the Sith using the dark side of the Force, seeking to bring order. But it's very interesting because the word order is a very ambiguous word. In Star Wars, the Sith use order, but they're really using it as a synonym for control, authority, power, domination. Whereas, the word order could be used in a positive way to kind of say we want an orderly society where the citizens of the society follow the rule of law, and that ensures that everybody feels safe and can live a peaceful, happy life. So the word order itself isn't a bad word. It's just coupled together with other words and other philosophies that go alongside it. I think, obviously, in Star Wars, the Sith use it to justify tyranny, to bring order. Vader always talks about to bring order to the galaxy. And the galaxy does need order. It just doesn't need the type of order that the Sith want to bring to it. Okay, so let's continue on this thing here. So, okay, here we go. Natural and non-natural moral realism. To understand the implications of Vader and Nietzsche's morality, we must introduce a few philosophical terms, starting with moral realism. This belief contends that moral principles are true and real, that they manifest differently in different situations. Morality is not relative or merely a human construct. So, okay, I agree with that. I believe in moral realism. I don't believe morality is just evolutionary outworkings and evolutionary behaviors. I think there's more to it than just our evolutionary programming. If you're somebody that believes in evolution, I believe morality is more on a metaphysical level. I would go even further than that and say it's on a spiritual level. But let's continue on this story here, because this is really interesting stuff here, guys. Okay, the story here goes on a bit more, saying you can check out Inspiring Philosophy's video series on moral philosophy. Now, I'm glad that the writer of this article has mentioned Inspiring Philosophy. Inspiring Philosophy is a guy called Michael Jones, who has his own YouTube channel called Inspiring Philosophy. And it is a Christian apologetics channel talking about philosophy, religion, science, quantum mechanics, and all the cross sections between philosophy, science, and theology. And Michael's got a very, very good YouTube channel. The videos on there, I've been a fan of that channel for years. Some great videos. He's a really clever guy, very intellectual. He's a smart dude. His videos have high production value. The graphics on there are phenomenal. His videos are well put together. Really one of the best apologetic channels out there. It has great arguments in support of Christian theism. He's into idealism as well, which could be another episode of the show, because I'm kind of starting to get into idealism a little bit as well, partly due to his channel, to be fair. So yeah, great channel. So if you're looking for a sort of philosophical view to religion, especially Christian theism, then go on to his channel. There's some great materials there. And even if you're an atheist and you're not sure about religion, or you're agnostic and you're really you're kind of searching for a bit of soul searching for sort of theological truth, or meaning and purpose to reality, I'd recommend his channel for you as well. Anyway, let's continue here. I'm trying to do this episode without running it too long, because I know that everyone's busy these days, and yeah, I don't want the episode to be too long for you. I hope you enjoy it, and then look forward to the next episode of the show. Okay, let's continue. Assuming moral principles exist objectively, even as Vader believes, are they part of the natural material world, i.e., natural moral realism, also known as ethical naturalism, or do they exist apart from it, i.e., non-natural moral realism? Using insights from Star Wars and Nietzsche, we will see that morality should not be grounded in the natural world, which means moral principles exist supernaturally. So yeah, this is what the person who's wrote this article story has written. I agree with that. I don't believe that morals and ethics are just something that are an outworking of evolution and sociology and social conditioning. I believe that morals exist supernaturally. It's the argument of the is and ought argument, and we'll talk about that right now in a second, actually. But it's really interesting stuff. Let's continue. Which morality do we find in nature? So, okay, let's continue. This is what he's saying here. As Vader and Palpatine walk through Rylof's forest, they hear the sound of predator eating prey. Darth Sidious comments that they can learn from nature. The strong dominate the weak, as they prove their supremacy by fighting Rylof's apex predator. Another character identifies them as the galaxy's apex predator. The symbolism is not subtle. Sith morality functions like the natural material world. It says that what ought to happen is that which is happening. In other words, if morality is grounded in the natural world, if the ought is in line with the is, then Sith morality would be correct. Now, that you might not get the significance of what they're saying, what's being said here, but if the ought is exactly the same, parallel or pretty much the same as the is, it means that morality would just be a natural thing. It wouldn't be supernatural. It wouldn't be ethereal or metaphysical in any shape or form. It would just be the natural order of things, and that would be that. But if the ought is different to the is, i.e., if the things that we think of as moral precepts of being good, justice, fairness, equality, love, compassion, empathy, if those moral virtues are different to the natural order of things, then we need a higher and grander explanation for them. So let me give you an example of that. In nature, if lions, when lions run around and they kill gazelle and they kill other prey in the plains of Africa, nobody looks to a lion and thinks, "Oh my gosh, lions are evil." Nobody thinks that, because lions are just hunting their prey in the way that lions hunt prey. They're hunting for food, and they're doing what is natural to their nature. Lions are an apex predator in their environment, so no human being thinks that lions are evil for hunting down zebras and gazelles and eating them. We just think that's the natural ecosystem of the plains of Africa, and lions are are big cats that are strong and quick, and they are the apex predator in their environment. And so there's no ought to that. And no, lions don't think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I ought to do something different. They don't think that. They just go according to their nature. Human beings are different. We think, should we do things like this? Ought we have done something different? And that ought. So a human being, okay, so let me give an example. A human being could go and shoot a gazelle, or could go and shoot a zebra, whatever, or an elephant in the plains of Africa, and actually get a conviction and think, actually, you know what? Why, I'm not going to eat an elephant or a gazelle necessarily, especially if you're somebody there and you're hunting, and they were hunting game or something like that, but they're not even from Africa, they're flown there to do it. They might get a conviction, like one day might wake up and think, you know what, this is wrong. I'm shooting animals for sport, just for satisfaction of my ego. Why am I even doing this? It's wrong. And ought I should not be doing this. I should be doing something else. And that's the ought. Is this right? Is this morally a right thing to do? Animals would don't have that sort of ought concept at all. And so the ought, with human beings, the ought, I would contend the ought isn't the same as it is. But with animals, they don't even think about that. So the ought would be exactly the same. They just do what's according to their nature. We do things, and we have to question what we do. Sometimes from a Christian point of view, we may repent and say, God, that was wrong. Shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. That idea. Or if you're a non-believer, you might just have a conviction and then just think, I'm going to change my ways. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's wrong. That's morally wrong. And you may even think that, there's something giving you that conviction, and you might have an explanation for it, or you might just think, I don't know what it is, but something's telling me that's wrong. That's the autonomy is, in a way. Okay, there.
You don't know the power of the dark side.